Saying, yeah, we tweeted about it already. No, wait. Waiting for the tweet. Sorry, my team's on it.
Well, we're live. Welcome back to Crypto Lodge. Special treat for all of you Scarubians out there. I'm chatting with the Pharaoh of
Saying, yeah, we
SCARAB
tweeted about
Finance.
it already. No, wait. Waiting for the tweet.
Hey, guys.
Sorry, my team's on it.
Well, we're live. Welcome back to Crypto Lodge. Special treat for all of you Scarubians out there. I'm chatting with the Pharaoh. I gotta turn off my
Saying, yeah, we
SCARAB
tweeted about it
Finance.
already. No, wait. Waiting for the tweet.
You waiting for your tweet to go through?
Yeah, I was just checking it out, but I was getting background noise, like repeating.
Yeah, I turned that off. SCARAB's up another 11% in the hour. GSCARAB's up another 8% in the hour. Things are looking pretty bullish here.
Yeah, we're very happy. It's been a crazy ride, and we had some hard times for a while. So it's awesome to see, things starting to pick up. Honestly, my biggest concern was that there were people we were letting down, and I've been public about this. We talked to quite a lot of influential people on Fantom who told us we were a solid team and we should just give up and pick up another project and migrate people there. But we didn't want to dump SCARAB because there are people who trusted us, and that is a responsibility we take serious. So we told people we would do our best, and that's what we're doing. And we've been trying to actively make sure that we protect their best interests and protect their investment. And I'm happy to see it get fulfilled because it's been a long road, and always cool to see hard work paying off, I guess.
Yeah. The Sin Spirit was a really smart move, in my opinion. Can you explain exactly how that works to anyone wondering?
Yeah, so I guess first to explain how Sin Spirit works, we have to start with our In Spirit and Win Spirit. So In Spirit is Spirit Swap's revenue sharing vesting token. Basically, you lock away your spirit. There's a period of 2 weeks to 4 years, and you lock it away, and you get access to a couple of things. Namely, you get boosts on your APRs and their boosted farms. You get rewards every week from your in-spirit distribution, and you get access to governance power over its spirit swap. So these can confer some pretty cool things when you work with protocols, and that's what a win spirit model is, and that's what we did with Sin Spirit. It's basically a wrapped version of Spirit, and the way it works is you give us your spirit, we give you Sin Spirit, we take the spirit that you gave us, and we lock it permanently out of circulation, and now you have a liquid version of In Spirit that confers the same bonuses that In Spirit gets you, but you can trade it freely, and now you gave us a liquid position of In Spirit, and we use it for a few things. So the first is we get the boost on the APRs on our vaults. So the vaults that we have launched on our platform are getting boosts on those APRs that you get from Spirit Swap's boosted farms without you needing to have In Spirit because we have it. So if you use our vaults, you're gonna have those boosts, and you're gonna have a higher APR than on Spirit Swap's farms normally if you don't have any In Spirit. That is one of those things. Well, and it also gives us access to the revenue sharing that they get, and the way this works is essentially 2 weeks from now, because the minimum vesting period is 2 weeks, so
Right.
they only give you the first revenue sharing distribution after 2 weeks, and then every week they're giving you a distribution. We're going to be using the majority of that spirit that we receive, put it on our vault, and people with Sin Spirit can single stake their Sin Spirit to get that spirit back and basically compound it for more Sin Spirit. And it gives access to our protocol to a bunch of liquidity that we basically acquire for free by providing services, and it gives us access to a lot of spirit that we can use to then place on the SynSpirit Spirit Farm to get, revenue that way. So it's building revenue for our protocol. It provides a service for our users. It also provides something that I was pretty happy with, which is, in the form of SynSpirit, you can still help our protocol with a lower risk play. Seigniorage is typically very high risk. You can now still help our protocol by getting SynSpirit and farming it on the SynSpirit Spirit LP farm, and when we add it on our yield optimizer that we're going to be adding for that LP on our platform, and you have a lower risk play because you're basically just investing in spirit. So it's very low risk, but it helps us anyways, and it gives us revenue through that. So you can help our protocol in a little bit of a parallel lower risk investment than Seigniorage is. And with that revenue, we're basically just compounding into our treasury, building it up. Actually, right now, we just did it. We're going to be adding a new wallet to the docs. It's the SynSpirit SCARAB wallet. Basically, we wanted to separate it from the treasury because the treasury is sort of like a cold wallet. We do manage it, but we are not actively managing for security reasons. So actually, we're separating this wallet because I'm going to be actively managing our treasury SynSpirit wallet. And the way it's going to work is we're going to bootstrap some liquidity to add to the LP farm over on SynSpirit Spirit LP, and we're going to be using all of the spirit that we receive from our model to compound into that farm. We want to be the biggest liquidity providers on that farm so that we can control the emissions we get from it and add more in spirit to our protocol. And it also gives us access to another very interesting thing, which is bribes. So it's gotten very common for people to use bribes to get gauge allocations on different farms and on different platforms. And Spirit Swap's no different.
Yeah.
So large in-spirit positions are actually very valuable because you can get massive bribes. So, Liquid Driver got almost $500,000 bribe for their in-spirit to get a vote. So we're going to be leveraging our in-spirit position to basically sell that in-spirit position for bribes to boost up our treasury, which is going to help us tremendously because it means, the bigger our treasury is, the more we can control the price, the more we can guarantee that our investors can be safe. So it's a model that I'm very happy with, and we're going to be continuing improving it and adding to it. But it's something that I'm very happy with, and I think long term it's going to be one of the things that really confers stability right now.
Okay, I think we have at least one question. I just want to say I'm happy to see SynSpirit here on Spirit Swap with the highest APR that they have to offer. And that's probably due to the lower liquidity, but now is a good time to get in for that nice high APR, and it helps out SCARAB. Let me see the question.
Actually, I have my own bag on there. I have a bag there too.
Here's the first question from GE. He said, or she said, I'd like to hear about how they plan to support the SynSpirit Spirit peg. Since their yield optimizer is emitting SynSpirit, won't there be a constant sell pressure on SynSpirit?
Well, yes and no, because we're always giving you the amount of SynSpirit that we can back up with the spirit that we're getting. So what we're doing with that is basically every single time that you are getting SynSpirit, selling it to buy the LP tokens that you have, we're getting spirit on the back end, which you're using to buy off either SynSpirit off the market if we need to control the price, and add liquidity that way, or use the depositor and add liquidity that way. So we're always compounding into our SynSpirit Spirit LP farm. And the reason why we can control the price this way is because even though, yes, we are creating SynSpirit, we're actually backing it up with revenue. And that revenue is going to be increasing more than what the sell pressure can increase because we're compounding onto it. And every single time that someone has when everyone compounds onto their LPs, they're also farming more spirit, which means we have access to more spirit. And we're using that spirit to farm more. So even though we do create sell pressure on Sin Spirit, we control the sell pressure because we have Spirit to back it up, and it gives us enough left over to continue compounding on our investments and growing our assets. So even though, yes, we do create sell pressure on Sin Spirit, we can control the price because we have something to back it up, which is part of why I really like this model, is because it gives us a little parallel game where I'm basically investing the Spirit that we get while making sure that the Sin Spirit price is always very close. And if you look at the Sin Spirit price, it's been very, very close to the Spirit price this whole time. That's because we can control it. And mostly it's not very hard, to be honest, because there's also constant buy pressure, because if you see that Sin Spirit is lower than the Spirit price, you can just use our depositor, higher than the Spirit price, you can just use our depositor and sell, and if it's lower, you can just buy off the market instead of using the Spirit depositor. So there's always, even organically, we don't even need to influence it that much, even though we can. And that's something that also helps us, because the bigger the control, the organic control of the Sin Spirit price is, that means the more we can invest the Spirit that we're getting. So there's a little balancing game, but since we can back up those emissions, that is really not an issue.
That is great. I hope that explains your question, GE. We have no other questions here yet. Okay, someone just said, what auto compounder do you suggest to deposit in?
So, depends on your assets, and I'm not going to be giving, financial advice. I will say that I have a personal investment in Liquid Driver Fantom. I am currently farming on the Sin Spirit farm, and I'm going to be using the yield optimizer when we launch it. I was also gonna move my assets. I just didn't because I'm lazy. More assets into the Fantom USDC yield optimizer. Those are just because of my personal investments. And if you have SCARAB, I do say that it's good to be using the it's good for us, for people to use the SCARAB.FINANCE yield optimizer for SCARAB Fantom LP, just because it keeps the revenue in-house. We use that revenue to control the price of SCARAB anyway, so it does help us a lot. It creates buy pressure on SCARAB, which also helps us a lot, and it's what we need when we're battling to keep the peg. So, those would be my ideas, I guess, but I don't really want to be giving financial advice. That's just what I'm using.
Yeah, I personally just manually compound, because sometimes it's wise to wait to compound, and auto compounders don't take profit into USDC. They don't notice when the other asset is dipping, like let's say GSCARAB is dipping and SCARAB is spiking. That's a perfect time to compound. So I wait for times like that to manually compound rather than putting it in a auto compounder. So that's just me. We have another question from GE. Do you have any plans for other revenue streams?
Yeah, so we do, and first we plan to continue expanding our yield optimizer presence. This isn't the first step. We plan to become a presence in that space, just because it's a very safe revenue stream and it's very stable. The second thing is we have been dropping some hints that we might be going into the Beats Wars. We just won't focus too much on that as of yet, just because we're still just coming off of Sin Spirit, and we still want to promote it correctly and get it out there and expand and build onto that. But we are moving into other areas. We are not planning it to stick just with Spirit. We also plan to launch some other games on our platform. We're going to be continuing to improve our predictions game. And as we grow, we will be optimizing it so it's going to run more and more often, just to attract more people. So we are going to continue expanding on not just on the revenue streams that we have, but we are planning on expanding into other areas. We are also going to be doing some NFTs that are going to be used with SCARAB, and even though they do give us just SCARAB, they're good because it takes SCARAB out of circulation. So so it gives us a lot of use in that and creates some buy pressure on SCARAB. And we expect them to be decently profitable just because we are also going to be adding a version of NFT staking with our NFTs. So yeah, we have some things on the pipeline for that, and we have been considering all of these things.
I know it's difficult. I know it's difficult what you can and can't say because all these tomb forks just try to, take your ideas and run with them first. So you really can't announce certain things until the day of. We have another question here from Shanae. It's a pretty harsh question, but that's what you like. Is the team dumping G on the market? That's the question.
Well, yes and no. So we actually have dumped around 50 G SCARABs already, all into Fantom or SCARAB straight, and it's all in the Treasury. You can check it. Everything is public.
Great.
We haven't taken payments in forever, basically, because we said it publicly before. We don't take payments when we're under peg, and we use everything that we have to control the price of SCARAB. So yeah, we have sold quite a lot of G because we have to. G sacrificial when you're trying to maintain the peg. That's all how we've always seen it, and how we've told people how we see it, and we've been very public about it. And yeah, we aren't worried about the G SCARAB price if the price of SCARAB isn't stable, because the G SCARAB price goes up if SCARAB can maintain itself stable. If SCARAB is over peg and it's solidly over peg, and we can stay stable over peg, the G SCARAB price soars on its own. We don't have to worry about it.
That's right.
Because people block the G SCARAB if the peg is healthy.
Yeah, once it
but
goes
if
over
SCARAB isn't healthy, it falls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, once it's over
So
peg,
we can't-
G just does G melts faces once we're over peg, and then when we're under peg, it dumps. That's just how it works. So it makes sense to sell G to put into the Treasury in Fantom to back the peg. So I hope that answers
and trust us, it hurts. It hurts to sell G because we know we're selling it at a very low price and we're losing a lot of money in the process. But we need Fantom to keep the peg healthy, and yeah, we have to do it. There's really not an option on there. We are worried about how much G SCARAB we have because we don't want to reduce the amount of G SCARAB that we have just because it reduces the amount of control that we have when we're over peg. But if it takes losing a little bit of control when we're over peg to make sure that we are over peg, we don't mind, because at least we can give our community some stability and give them what they want and they need, which is those yields and being over peg and getting to printing with no problems.
Well, I'm glad we're getting more questions. The next one is from Who Makes the Beats. His question is, how has the user growth been on the predictions game, which I'm addicted to?
So it's actually been pretty good. We have been shutting it off on and off because we are always trying to update it. We want to deliver the most polished version we can, so we're continuously updating the game. But it's been much better since the stream that we did. I think a lot of people got their eyes on it and started playing it a lot more. Our community really likes it, and they seem to like it.
Oh, it's fun.
Currently, we're keeping it spread out just because we're going to be keeping the prediction spread out just to give time to everyone to get in.
Yeah.
But we will be lowering those times as we go along. Cool. to make sure that people can play as much as they want.
Cool. The quick time is kind of like what adds to the euphoria and the addiction. Every 5 minutes was fun, but I could see 10 minutes being a better option. Next question is from Yannick Kiefer. Hope I said that right. Would you mind to speak a bit about the S-Bond? How does it work? when shall we sell them back to GSCARAB?
So, S bonds are the way that the protocol has to reduce supply when we're below peg. The way they work is you basically take your SCARAB, you trade it in for S bonds. Those S bonds are only redeemable when you're above peg, and you can only get S bonds when we're below peg. And the only way you can redeem them is basically you need to wait for the TWAP to be above 1.01 and pass an epoch with the TWAP above 1.01. If you do that at 1.01, you don't get any redemption bonuses, but you get a pretty hefty redemption bonus when the TWAP is above 1.1, and it gets bigger the more you wait for the peg to go up. So actually, there's a pretty cool graph that people keep spamming on the groups. And let's say that the SCARAB peg somehow went to 2.0. People who are holding S bonds until then, they would make it 5x on their investment. So bonds basically just give you a bonus on the amount of time that you wait to redeem them, and yeah, that is their job and how they work. And you can only trade them to GSCARAB when you can trade them for SCARAB, so you have to wait. You don't trading S bonds to GSCARAB isn't like a getaway. It basically just trades it for SCARAB and then immediately trades it for GSCARAB. It's like you can trade them directly for GSCARAB because the purpose of bonds is to take SCARAB out of circulation, not G.
Yeah, there's a lot of information about the bonds in the docs. If you go to docs.scarab.finance, you can read all about them. The next question is from Jock Stalker. He said, any alpha leak? Alternatively, anything not there yet but in the brainstorming stage, which I can understand if you really can't answer too much about that.
So we can give a little bit of an alpha leak. We were looking with some interest to Twom's idea of doing 3-ohm, and even though I don't like the way it works, because I don't, we thought it would be interesting to do something similar just with our touch, because we have thought of doing a slower protocol that has some different mechanisms to basically stabilize it. And we are planning on implementing something similar as a stabilizer to SCARAB that is more sustainable. And we will be announcing more things in the future, but I can't be speaking too much about it as of yet.
Right. Are you referring to the 2-ohm, 3-ohm DAO, the bonds?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, not exactly like them because we're not planning to do a DAO, but we will have some more updates in the future.
Okay, the next question's from R Solo. How many people do they have in the team? Is Pharaoh doing everything alone?
No, no, I couldn't do everything alone.
That's
Jesus.
right, yeah.
So we are 4 internal members in the team, for devs, and we also have an external marketing team working with us, and a team that helps us manage our community. In total, I think they are 5, so we would be 9. Then we have some graphic designer working with us. So he has a few employees of his own. So in total, like 12, 13 people. That we 4 of us, and then a couple of people that we employ already. It takes a lot. Managing the community, especially, it's very time consuming. When we got our mods and we were really grateful because it took a lot off our hands. It can be very, 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 very time consuming to be managing the community all the time. So it helped tremendously, and our marketing team is also giving us a huge hand. I was checking it out on Twitter. We were the 4th biggest We had the fourth biggest social interactions on Fantom Network in the past week. So our marketing has been starting to kick off and getting a lot more traction, which has been very good because it allows for more inflow of people, and it takes time to build a revenue. So we need time. We always told this to people.
I think you kind of cut out there.
And helps us a lot because it helps us build while we build the things that we need to build to, make sure that we can get back to peg. And I mean, now we are at peg, but make sure that we can stabilize at peg and continue growing in a healthy manner. It's been crazy, but our team is amazing. They're really good. Everyone is incredible. It's not just me. I could not do it alone.
Right.
I have a team of amazing people working with us, and it's really awesome to work with them.
That sounds great. Phil Bow asked, are there any plans to add more utility to bonds? And you kind of answered that, but if you want to address it.
Yeah, so we do, and actually even SynSpirit can help us with that because it gives us a massive InSpirit position, which you can use for votes, and something that we have on our pipeline and that we want to implement. We just need to accumulate a bigger InSpirit position is make bonds single stakeable on Spirit Swap's website for Spirit. That is something it's something that we're still going to have to negotiate and prepare a little better because obviously when you do something like this, there's a give and take. But we are planning on doing something like that, and we want to give something to our bondholders because we understand that when you're below peg, for example, for a long period of time, it is very difficult to be a bondholder.
Yeah.
So we are planning on adding more things to help out with that, and it's something that we've been considering for a while.
Well, that's awesome. Just giving more to people who support the system. Because in the description I said, don't just FOMO into GSCARAB, even though it looks enticing. You should, add some SCARAB Fantom LP to help the system and help the peg.
Yeah, it's more risky to go into GSCARAB because if everyone apes into GSCARAB, SCARAB falls below peg, and now your GSCARAB is worthless.
Yep.
So it is better to just focus on SCARAB. The risk is much lower. Even when we fell massively, we never fell more than 20% in phantom value on SCARAB in one day. And I mean, except on the bank run, but we did recover shortly afterwards. So it is a lot more risky to have GSCARAB because if you fall below peg, that loses its value very, very fast. So at least with SCARAB, you have a little bit of a more safer play, less impermanent loss than if you have GSCARAB Fantom LP, and you're helping the protocol a lot more. We're not telling people to not have any GSCARAB and not staking it in a temple. It's not forbidden, but it's very, very helpful for us, and it's important to the protocol that people focus on SCARAB Fantom LP.
Yeah.
Because again, we need time, and we are a community. We need to do this as a community. The community has been amazing. It's really one of the biggest factors to why we're here.
Agreed.
It's because of our community. So we need to make sure that we're together and united in that front, because it's only together that we can make this succeed. I can't do it alone, and we can't do it alone. So we need our community to be there with us and help us do this and get this project to the next level.
Yeah, the Fantom SCARAB LP also rewards you in GSCARAB, which you can just stick right into the temple for future gains. So that's really a good way to go instead of just buying GSCARAB, like you said, because then we'll just fall right back under peg. The next question is from Who Makes the Beats again. This is a kind of interesting question, which I knew this was going to come up. What is the Pharaoh's opinion of the whole Harry Ye Tomb 3-ohm, 2-ohm, 3-ohm saga, and does the SCARAB team want to avoid working with him, or would they welcome a partnership with Harry?
So we were quite interested with the whole situation. The start of the situation had us a little bit on the back foot because we weren't scared because I wasn't gonna stop doing what we were doing just because we were threatened.
Right.
But I was worried and cautious, so I contacted him to make sure that everything was okay and everything was fine. He said he wasn't gonna come after us, and then I saw the whole him attacking Twom situation, and I was pretty interested because then it felt like he was just trying to feud his competitors, and it didn't work. They pumped because of it. And then I actually was checking the Discords and all of that because I was trying to figure out what was happening. And it seems like he was being a lot more friendly, and suddenly there's like a $3 or $4 million buy on 2Share, and I was like, yeah, he just bought. It was pretty obvious from that point.
Yeah,
and then he made those announcements.
Yeah, he bought $3 million. He bought $3 million of 2Share and $3 million of 3Share that we know about. And the original kid that wrote to him, he I guess he wanted to just focus on school, and this was all too much for him. So he actually dumped everything on the market. All of his 2Shares, 3Shares, 2 3 he dumped it all on the market. So that's why the price crashed lately, but it's still, it's still way above peg. They got a great community. I still believe in them. I'm not sure about the Harry partnership though, because I voiced my opinion about this. Just a week ago, Harry was calling Harry notoriously hated Tomb Forks, and now he's investing in them, and and I just question his intentions.
Well, he's a smart businessman, and I think it was from a business decision, I see why he did it. In terms of long sustainability for the 3 projects at once, I fear for that, but we'll see. I'm sure he has a plan. Like I said, he's a smart businessman. But I was taken aback because it was unexpected and it was strange, and just because of the way Twom is organized, making it run like almost 3 times faster, it's strange because I believe their emissions are the T-share emissions and the 2Share emissions are going to end around the same time, which is going to be hard to stabilize both of them with his funds. But
yeah,
I'm sure he has a strategy for that. But yeah, we were interested in it, and to the part of will we work with him, well, that depends, because let's be real, we don't really know the details of what happened on the back end of things. And if something that I learned from SCARAB and working here is that there's a lot of things that happen on the back end and that the public isn't aware of. So I don't know what happened on the back end, so I can't voice my opinion if we were to work with him or not, because I don't know what offer we would get or what would even be negotiated. It's a kind of hypothetical. If things were on friendly terms and if it was something that made sense and it helped SCARAB holders, then we would definitely consider it. But if not, then we would have to turn it away, because our main concern is to our holders, not to what Harry's doing or what Twom is doing or what they're going to do. That doesn't really matter to me.
I had asked the now head dev of 3 and 2 since the original dev left. I asked him, if he could tell me a little bit about the partnership, and he said that it's not a partnership. It requires nothing from 2 or 3 and that everything that Harry is doing, he will be doing separately, and that, but we'll see what happens. The next question is from GE again. Are you planning to make a separate UI for the yield optimizer?
So yeah, this is a discussion that we've been having with the team. Since we've expanded our yield optimizer presence, we were considering moving it to a different tab, or we're afraid of getting it clogged. We need a rework of the UI. It's just there's so much going on that it's hard to get on that. But if we continue expanding our yield optimizer presence, and as we continue expanding our yield optimizer presence, we're definitely going to separate it and put a different tab, just because it's then it's going to bog down the tab on the sarcophagus. But we're just trying to be careful because we don't want to clog up our website with too many tabs, and it already has quite a few.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, we need a UI rework bad, but it's just very, very difficult to get to it. And we do have a graphic designer working on it, but we also put him and his team working on the NFTs, so they're prioritizing that first, and then we'll get on our UI.
Well,
and then we're gonna get on our Gamify.
From the limited developer experience I have, the UI of Tomb Forks is heavily tied to the back end, so it's not just a quick UI change.
No, it takes like deep reworks to the whole structure of how the website is set up. It's unfortunate because it is kind of clunky the way it's coded, so it takes a while to change everything, and we do need to rework the whole structure because it's creating issues. Because the way it's designed is so slow and clunky, so it's one of the reasons why the website is slow. It's not the server. We actually have been upgrading servers. It's just it has such a slow structure, basically, that it creates a lot of issues. So we do want to restructure that. It's just very, very time consuming, and we have so much going on already. We're going to need to expand operations.
Yeah.
Very soon.
The next question is from Who Makes the Beats again. He said, sometimes it feels like the thing holding this project back is lack of visibility. Are there plans for more increased visibility like Twitter, YouTube, influencers, etc.?
So we've been expanding on this already. I was mentioning it here. We were the fourth biggest. We had the fourth biggest outreach on Twitter from all the projects on Fantom Network this week. We are continuing to expand that. We are already working with a few influencers. We are trying to get our names out there. We've done a few AMAs already, a few partnerships. We're trying to get as much outreach as we can. It's something that has to grow organically. And on Fantom especially, it's all a lot of, spoken word and a lot of people talking to each other. It's more community driven than anything else. So it takes growing organically. We're expanding that. We've expanded our Twitter presence massively. I think we gained like 1,000 or almost 1,000 Twitter followers last night. So we are working on this. We're going to continue expanding this. We're trying to move more into YouTube too, and we're going to be making more moves on it. Putting our YouTube channel is going to be a lot more active. We're trying to focus on that as well. Yeah, we have a lot going on now.
Next question is, do you think we can break all-time high on SNG? That's kind of financial advice, but if you'd like to say a thing or two about it.
So, the point of S is not really to go ballistic, so I'm not trying to break all-time high on S for sure. The point of S is to yield you a very good return on a safe investment with very little impermanent loss. The objective is to basically be single staking Fantom. So, I do believe in Fantom, and I do think Fantom's going to go up. So I think in dollar value, certainly we could see that just because of Fantom going up, because our goal is to maintain the peg, not to go massively over it.
Right.
And G, well, that is a matter of stability. If you can grow in a stable manner, then absolutely. But again, that will take focus on SCARAB Fantom LP, and that will take focus on maintaining our peg.
Yeah.
And if that happens, then yes, we can see that. But I don't want to be giving financial advice, and I don't predict the future. But I do believe that stability is key to seeing a strong GSCARAB with a high price point.
Yeah, just hypothetically, in my opinion, not financial advice, if we were to see a healthy 2.2 to 1 overpeg, I think G could easily hit its local high. If we're talking all-time high, that's unattainable because we know how, the launch was
not
ridiculous.
$8 million for sure.
Right. So when we say all-time high, we're talking local high. The local high was just under 10K or 9K, I believe, and that's over a 10x from here. So if we, it's all about getting a healthy overpeg, and that's all about not buying G. That's about LPing the SCARAB Fantom LP, which gives you a great APR, which you can stick that G that you earn right in the temple and get more great APR for long-term growth.
Yeah. So you can still yield your GSCARAB, and you can yield a lot of GSCARAB. You don't just need to buy it directly. It's lower risk to try to yield it.
Here's a question. Have you ever thought about renouncing when SCARAB was about to go bankrupt?
So renouncing meaning giving up?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, we certainly thought, damn, we're screwed. But no, we never considered stopping because, well, even though it was hard, and even though, we were pretty sad when that happened, like the day of, we were all devastated. Yeah. It was, it was very sad for us. We were kind of heartbroken because we were doing so much work and everything was going perfect. And then we got a bank run. But the things we told our community were still true, which is we have a responsibility to them to do our best. We can't promise success, and we always said that, but we can promise that we wouldn't give up. So we just stick to what we said because I keep my word and I take it very seriously. And I told people that I wouldn't give up, so I couldn't. And yeah, we had to keep going because there were people who trusted in us, who were suffering in their investments, and we couldn't let that happen. So if they were still having faith in us and if they were still sticking with us, then there was no way we could just quit on them.
That's great.
So we decided to keep going, and yeah, fortunately it's paying off now.
Absolutely. Next question's from Josh Stalker. Will the Treasury support SCARAB to maintain PEG or just to regain it? Not sure what that means.
So we actually have used part of the Treasury funds already to help SCARAB maintain the PEG. We do, but we are very, 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 very careful with any transactions that we make on SCARAB and that we use the Treasury on, even when we're trying to support or maintain the PEG, because you have to be very careful. It's a very tricky balance, and if you're not careful, you can end up screwing everyone in your project. So we are prioritizing filling up our Treasury as much as we can and let our growth be organic. And we only give a couple of nudges here and there to make sure that things are going well. But our focus is on having organic growth and expanding our Treasury, because the more we can expand our Treasury now early, and that we can use it to bolster our investments and to bolster revenue streams, then we have enough to continuously support our PEG, and we have enough built up that we can just support it through revenue and that we can have backing. But if we just blow it everywhere and aren't very careful with where we put it and how we use it, then eventually it's going to run out, because the easiest thing to do is burning away money. So we have to be very, very careful with how we do things, and we do give nudges here and there, but don't expect us to be dropping massive candles, because like we said, we would be building up throughout the week, and we will continue building up, and we're influencing it, but we cannot and we will not burn away the Treasury unless it is absolutely necessary.
Yeah, I think that's. I mean, I know that's one of the things that I have DM'd you multiple times, is how I appreciate how the team doesn't just exhaust the treasury funds to get things back on the peg. You guys have a good hands-off approach, and you try to let the market and community work things out before intervening. So you try to intervene as little as possible, which I think is going to be very beneficial in the end. The next question is from Shanae. Thoughts on the inflows from other tomb forks in SCARAB? Thoughts on the inflows from other tomb forks, as in people leaving Tomb, coming to SCARAB?
Yeah, I think it also had everything happened at a very opportune moment as well, because Tomb has been under peg and struggling to regain peg. Yeah. And Tomb had a big dump. I mean, it didn't go under peg or anything. It's not like they're in a critical situation.
Yeah.
But they had a big dump, and there were a lot of people who waped into it at an unwise time. I was seeing people buy huge amounts, like 2.8 peg or 2.5 peg, and I was like, that is crazy. The protocol is designed to go lower than that, and they already have 100 million TVL. Yeah. I'm not sure how you expect that to be maintainable long term. So I was thinking it was a kind of an ape fest, and it was not going to go well. I mean, not going to die, because obviously they weren't going to collapse, but
right.
Those people were going to get wrecked because they were about to lose like 40% of their investment. So I think it happened at a very opportune moment that we started growing at that time, because the biggest tomb forks, or tomb itself, on Fantom had a bit of a downslope on that day, and it helped us a lot. And I think it's bringing a lot of eyes into it, and I think people appreciate seeing a different perspective on things, and they like that we're trying a different approach. And I think that is the reason for our success now, and why we're growing, is because I think, especially on other tomb forks than Tomb and Tomb itself, I think people are tired of seeing the same old approach, because on the vast majority of cases it ends up collapsing.
Yeah.
So I think we're getting a lot of inflow because we're trying different things, and not just a rework of the same, a constant spam of the same thing over and over again, and just change the UI and a logo.
Yeah, we keep seeing these projects with like 31 to 1 overpegs and things like that just crash quickly. The next question's from R Solo. He said, I feel they have a lot of initiatives without a specific focus. NFT, GameFi / prediction, auto compounders, etc. Why don't they focus on one niche or niche? Wouldn't it be easier to execute?
So, yes and no, because we are continuing to bolster our presence in the areas that we have already shown interest in. The NFTs and the GameFi are not just a marketing strategy because it attracts a lot of people, but it brings up another revenue stream. And the important thing here is that even though we are expanding onto different things, we're still a senior Ash protocol. So that is our focus, is we're a senior Ash protocol. The other things that we're developing are services that we can offer, because that bootstrap liquidity to us, and that we can attract because we have a presence for being a senior Ash protocol. So we don't really see it as diverging our attention. We just see it as diversifying our approach, because we said from the beginning that we wanted to be a one-stop shop on DeFi, and we are trying to deliver a ecosystem within SCARAB and within what projects we develop. So it's not really, to me, so much as diverging from our attentions, and our focus is trying to diversify our approach, because we are continuing to expand our yield optimizer presence. We launched the first two, and we have launched six more since then. So we are not drifting our focus away from our strategies. We're just trying to maximize our range and our areas of operations, because it also attracts attention to us.
Yeah.
And it helps us generate more revenue streams and bolster the revenue streams we have. So, for example, if I attract an NFT investor with my NFTs, and he comes check me out, and he goes, hey, they have yield optimizers for something I like, and I wanted to try an investment like a Sinaraj protocol. Let me join them and stake some of my assets on their yield optimizer and buy some SCARAB Fantom LP. They're going to be helping us through several ways. So having several avenues where our users can navigate and having several services that we can offer them means that they can stay in SCARAB and have the services that they need within us. And that is an approach that a lot of technology companies are having lately, and I think it's successful for a very specific reason, because it allows your users to stay within your ecosystem. So we're trying to follow that approach, and we're obviously going to have to be careful because we can't try to do everything at the same time.
Yeah.
But we work very fast and we work very hard. So we do move fast, but we think it's only going to help us in the long run because it's expanding our ecosystem.
Great answer. Shanae asked, how does the team determine when to pay itself?
So it is a tricky balance because, so for example, it's outlined in the docs how much the team gets when we're above peg and the percentage that we get. I think it's 5 or 10%, to be honest. I can't remember just because we haven't gotten paid in a while. It's very simple for us, and at the same time it's a very tricky balance, because when we're above peg, we can just use the dev payment and sell it in pieces to try to minimize the impact. But for example, right now, even though we printed, we couldn't sell to pay ourselves because we were so close to peg that if we did sell, we'd have dumped it. So basically, even though we were above peg and we printed and we theoretically could have paid ourselves, we can't do that because we're going to hurt the protocol if we do. So instead, we waited and just kept the SCARAB there, and we're probably going to try to add LPs. If we can go a little bit over peg, we're probably going to use it to add LPs and compound it to SCARAB Fantom LP. It basically, the way we do it is, if the peg is healthy enough, we can pay ourselves. If we're in sort of a yellow zone where we're in a good place and we're above peg, but we're not we're not so up there that we can be frivolous, we can't afford massive impacts, we'll probably use a smaller percentage just because we don't want to hurt the peg. So that's basically how we do it. We just don't want to have too big of an impact to pay ourselves, because that will hurt the protocol.
Yeah, I've read the docs.
That is a tricky balance that we have.
Yeah, I've read the docs, and I see how much dev is allowed to get paid, and I've also been watching the wallets, and you guys have not been taking you guys have not been paying yourselves nearly what you could be paying yourselves, which says a lot.
Yeah. Our main focus, and we said this from the beginning, is to make sure the project has longevity, because it's even better for us financially, because if I'm short-sighted and start dumping now, even if I could, I'm going to kill my own project. So I would rather just be patient, let it grow, make sure it's stable, and eventually I'm going to start making more than I would have if I was dumping more. So we just try to see it as our long-term play. We have a responsibility to make sure this protocol lasts, and it's in our best interest to make sure this protocol lasts. So that's our approach. We just make sure that we don't hurt the protocol when we pay ourselves, because it would be It wouldn't just be immoral, it would be stupid.
Another great answer. The next question's from Anthony. Do you think SCARAB could be a core Fantom project similar to Boo, Scream, LQDR, Tarot, Credit? Basically a blue chip, which I kind of consider you guys a blue chip, but what's your answer to that?
So I think we can. I won't say we are.
Right.
Not yet. I want to be more stable until we can say that. But I do believe we can. It takes a lot of effort, and it's going to take continued building and continued effort from all of us and from our community and from our team. But the more we can present that we are here, that we've kept fighting, that we've maintained ourselves, the more trust from the community we can get. When we launched, we used to get the rug accusation all the time. Everyone asked us if we were going to be a rug. Guess what? Now that people know who we are and our community trusts us, I don't get that question anymore. So
right.
I think it's all about trust. If people can trust that we're real, we're here to stay, we're doing what we can, and we're not just another unimaginative project that's going for a cash grab and just leave. So we think we can. It's just a matter of continued building and growth and stabilizing, and soon enough people will start realizing that we're not just another Tomb Fork, and that we're just not following the same old approach, and we actually want to do things differently, and we want to build something cool, and that helps the Fantom ecosystem.
Another great answer. Looks like the last question here from Who Makes the Beats. Does Pharaoh realize how much conviction he instills in his holders who have been around for a while? Will he promise to continue to do AMAs every once in a while? And we're gonna be doing a lot on the SCARAB YouTube in the coming weeks. Do you want to answer this?
Yeah. So actually, I think I can say that we asked Crypto Lodge here to help us with our YouTube channel, and well, thank you for saying that first. People sometimes tell me that. I don't know. I just like talking about it, and I enjoy this space a lot. So it's just very, very cool for me. I told people this before. I'm living out my dream right now.
Yeah.
So yes, we do intend to keep doing AMAs. I do intend to keep checking in without my community. I want to do more events where we are a little closer with them, maybe playing some games and hanging out. Some more professional AMAs when things are serious and we're launching up new things, and some more casual sit-ins, playing with the community and just hanging out with our community for a little bit. Yeah, we want to be closer to as close to the community as we can, because it is because of you guys that we're here. So it's very important, and I don't intend to leave or stop doing these things, because I think they're very good, they're very positive, they're very fun. I get to meet cool new people, I get to talk to my community, I get to listen to your input, and it helps me a lot because I need to know what you guys want and what people are interested in, because they're the ones investing in me.
That's right.
So in a way, I'm their employee, right? So I need to know what they're interested in and what they want and what they want to see from us, and it's good to have that interaction because it's more organic.
You guys have AMAs on your Discord quite often, and we're going to be streaming those to the SCARAB YouTube channel every time, and probably doing AMAs on the SCARAB YouTube channel quite often. I know you love talking to the people, like you just said, and you come on this is the second time you're on my channel. We're big SCARAB fans here. Shanae has one last question. Has he seen the picture that looks like pyramid with all the tomb forks and SCARAB in the middle from Goofy Ninja?
I have not. Oh, I have not. I gotta check it out.
Have you
Please
heard
do
this?
send me that picture.
Have you heard the rap?
The what?
The Scarab rap that I sent you.
Oh, I have not yet. I have to check it out.
Let me play that for you quick, because it is hilarious. It's a 1 minute long, and we'll end this with that.
I'm gonna check it out. I can't wait for it.
Right here it is. It's amazing. I did send you the picture too.
Let me check it out. Is it on Discord or?
We
Telegram.
told you we're gonna overpeg, man.
Telegram. Okay.
We told you.
Can you hear this?
That's the problem. You guys don't listen.
Yeah,
man.
I can.
You sleeping on Scarab. You think we're a punk? We running things now, man. We the top dogs now. Yeah. We told you not to drop, boy. Now you holding Tomb. You a bitch, boy. Harry went and rugged all you bitches, boy. Now we holding G's, we getting rich, boy. Scarab on the top, we the shit, boy. Scarab ain't going underpeg. You a lie. Stop spreading FUD in the chat. Scarab, yeah, we ain't never going back. Scarab to the moon. Moon walking on you haters. Yeah, we got G's, yeah, we printing paper. The printer never stopped, bro. We was underpegged like a week ago. Now G's are to the moon. G going to 20K real soon. Then we go to 100K guaranteed. Everybody buy Scarab, Scarab team. Everybody who the Tomb, now you getting dumped. Harry made you like a punk. Yo, tell me what you want. Scarab, 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 Scarab,
That's
Scarab,
it.
Scarab, Scarab.
That's about it. That's
Oh my god, that is hilarious.
It is hilarious. Thanks for coming on, as always. Let me see if anyone has any last question before we go. Nope, that's it. So thank you for coming on. I'm sure you'll be back on soon. And
yeah, it's a pleasure, man.
And the
Just
community,
invite me over. I'd love to be here.
The community can look forward to more content on the Scarab YouTube channel coming soon.
Thank you so much, guys. And thank you so much, man. Always a pleasure being here.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Thumbs up, subscribe if you like the content, and go over to the Scarab YouTube channel and subscribe there too. There'll be more content there coming in the future. Thanks for watching, everybody. This has been fun.
Thank you, guys.
Pharaoh, I'll talk to you soon.